Hi, everyone, and welcome to 687 Literacy Research. I'm very excited to get started with you, and as you know, this week is obviously an online week, and so I want to introduce you to the course and let you know what you need to be working on this week. Okay, so first thing that I want you to draw your attention to is the syllabus, which is here. That has everything you need to know in terms of, I've laid out all the assignments, what things are going to be worth, point values, course objectives, and everything. So please have a good, careful read through that and bring questions you have on that to class next week, or you can ask me through the email. Okay, so to get started, you're going to go on into weekly modules. And my screen looks a little different than yours because it's the instructor version. Um, and so you're just going to see module 1. So you can open that up. Okay, so the objectives are to start to develop the understanding of what a literature review is and start doing some reading. One of the key parts of this course is not only am I going to teach you how to read and write literature in a way where you can end up writing a literature review, but also the things that we're going to be reading are what I consider kind of key foundational readings in language and literacy. And you're also going to be doing a lot of your own choice reading as well. So here is each week you're going to have a checklist of what you need to do with the due dates. And do watch the due dates. Sometimes they will, so basically the way our class works is it's a Thursday class. So it starts on Thursday and then it finishes on Monday. So that's why we have these, this is next Monday, January 30th here. Often there will be things that you're going to do to interact with each other so we can have some collective learning and develop a community of learners. And those ones are going to have different due dates. So this is an introduction activity that you're going to do. And it's going to be due on Sunday, so because we need to give people time to respond to each other. So please make sure that you meet this deadline so that you can participate in the discussion that kind of goes with this, or the commenting. I'll show you more about that in a second. Okay, readings. So we're all going to be reading the same 2 things this week. And this is what we're going to discuss on next week. Also next week, I'm really excited. I've made a connection with our librarian, Nathan Dodd, who is going to come in and show us how to use RefWorks, which is a bibliographic kind of system where you're going to, everything you read, you're going to kind of input into this database. Your reading logs, which are down here, are ultimately going to go in there as well. And you're going to find it's a really, really handy way to organize your readings and to make bibliographies that go with the papers that you're writing. It's a really powerful thing. He's also going to teach us how to be critical about what we choose to read, and so that we can make sure that we're reading only the really scholarly things that are most important. So that's happening next week. So again, you're going to read these 2, but then you're going to start with a reading log, and that's one of your assignments. And this, you're going to actually do this kind of as a draft. We're going to bring it to class. Again, either you can just bring your computer or bring a hard copy, and we're going to go over those together and make sure we're kind of on the same page. These are the specifics about what I want you to do, so have a look at that. And again, it says reading log RefWorks because ultimately we're going to put our reading logs into the RefWorks program, but you don't know how to do that yet. Okay, you're going to do a VoiceThread, introduce you to our research. I think all of you have done VoiceThread before. There is a tutorial here, but let me just kind of walk you in. The purpose is to basically introduce us to you. There's 4 of you in this class. I don't know if everyone knows each other. So introduce yourself, but also talk about your research. All of you are thinking about research. That's why you're in this class. You're in various stages of development on that. Everyone is exactly where they need to be. So you're going to click on this. And you're going to be creating your own VoiceThread, which could be a little bit different than what you've done before. So let me show you kind of where that is. So here's mine, which is an introduction, and there's a kind of a text thing here, and then you can click on here to see a video of what, basically the same thing, what I'm telling you to do. And that's just an example. and then you are going to add your own by clicking on here. You can do it one slide, you can do it multiple slides. I'm sure you can figure out how to do all of that. And if you have questions, you can let me know. And again, it's just a work in progress, doesn't have to be totally polished. I just got that, and you can put an image if you want, you don't have to. You can put up a piece of data, a picture of your kids in your classroom, whatever you want to do. I just got that from Google Images and just kind of put that there. And so again, I want you to play with this, figure this out. You're going to do another, so you're going to do 2 VoiceThread assignments in this course. This one, which is again just a couple minutes, and then you're going to do a longer one towards the end of the course where you're going to be a little bit more developed with your research. You're also then going to comment on people's VoiceThreads. So let me show you, just remind you how to do that. So this is what mine looks like.
Hi, everyone.
And then down here is where you put in your comments. Okay, and you can be brief, try to connect with the person, maybe ask some questions. Again, we're just kind of getting started, getting organized, and I think you're going to find this exercise valuable, and that it's going to get you to really think about, well, what am I doing? What am I interested in? So that is the goal. Okay, let's go back to the module. The last thing you're going to do is start thinking about what you're going to want to read that's related specifically to your research. So again, there'll be things that we're all reading and then things that you're going to choose. And I'm sure you're in different places with this too. Some of you might have things you've been setting aside that you know you want to read that's relevant to your work. Some of you probably haven't thought about that at all. So depending where you are, it's going to depend on what this looks like. It's just a drafted little list. This is just a get started sort of assignment. We're really going to kind of get into it during Module 2. So you can either make a list of the types of articles you need, like I need articles on student engagement, or you can list you can do both. Here's what I need to read, and here's actually what I want to read. You can also feel free to start reading. Starting in Module 2, you're going to be reading 2 or 3 articles that are your choice, that you're going to kind of be reading to build up your collection of things that you've read that are for your literature review, that's ultimately going to be for your capstone. If you are familiar with SFL, and you're doing classroom research on SFL, which I know a couple of you are, this is a really good place to start. This is actually an entire text, entire book with different chapters, and really interesting pieces of research there. And we will, again, starting next week, I'll be building a collection for you, and you'll also be building your own collection. So again, it's just to get started. So going back up to here, those are the things that you need to do. Most things are just due by Monday, except for this VoiceThread, which I want you to get going with over the weekend. Okay? Again, let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing everyone next Thursday.